Hey guys, how's it going? I am Tanya K. Please excuse me because I'm in a little bit of a grunge mode right now, as you could probably see. But I wanted to get a lot done today because I haven't really gotten a lot done in about 2 weeks. My room is a mess, which I know you can't see it because I kind of chose this angle so you guys wouldn't see how much of a mess my room is, but my room is a complete and total disaster. And yes, it is a complete and total disaster because, once again, my depression has taken over. But I'm better. I was pretty bad last week, but I'm better now. And it's also a mess because my life's been off track for like the last 2 weeks. Just because, like, you know, all this stuff was happening. I was at home for a majority of the last 2 weeks. My friend from England, who you saw in the last Buffy review vlog, was over, so I took a lot of time off work. So pretty much my life is finally starting to get back on track, back on schedule after 2 weeks. So, but one of the things I wanted to do, because I wanted to get a lot done today, is I wanted to do my next Buffy review. So, hey guys, I'm Tanya K. Welcome to my next Buffy review. However, guess what? It's not of the next episode or the next 2 episodes, which I bet you thought it was. Nope. My Buffy review is of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Dark Congress by Christopher Golden. So, I got this book for Christmas, and this is the second book I've read this year. And yes, the year's more than halfway over, and this is the second book I've read this year. Because I really don't read. I used to read a lot as a kid, but I don't read a lot anymore. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, but when it comes to physically reading, I don't really do it. But the first book I read this year, physically read, I actually really want to do a review of. So I think I'm gonna do it. So, you know what? Sorry, my cat loves plastic bags, and I made the mistake of putting a plastic bag on my bed, and I heard the crinkling, and I don't want my cat to suffocate and die. I would be very, very sad. So, okay, she's fine. She stopped doing it. The first book I read this year, one of 2, this being the second one, was High on Arrival by actress Mackenzie Phillips. So, let me know if you want me to do a review of that. Okay? If you think it sounds interesting, then tell me, and if you could care less, then tell me that too, because you, the viewers, you, my subscribers, my well-appreciated subscribers, let me know what you want. But today is about doing a review on this book, and I want to let you know, first off, it completely and totally contains spoilers. So, I asked for this book for Christmas without knowing what it was about. But it didn't really matter because it's by Christopher Golden, and as I stated very briefly in my Let's Play, my Buffy the Vampire Slayer Chaos Bleeds Let's Play, Christopher Golden is one of the 2 best non-TV show writer Buffy the Vampire Slayer writers, so pretty much anything he does, it's going to be amazing. And I want to read to you the back, in case you don't know what it's about. I'm just going to read the back to you. Which would be good, because that would probably refresh my mind, because I actually read this over the course of 7 months. Yeah, I know. Don't judge. Just stop right there. Since the beginning of time, the demonic races have gathered every century to resolve conflicts amongst them and to determine the course of their future. This centennial event was called the Dark Congress. In the 2nd century BC, however, the Dark Congress failed to resolve their conflicts. Instead, the Congress ignited into a war that drove wedges between the various demon races from that time until now, and all of it began as a result of Candida, the great North African river demon, being nearly killed by forces in the Congress and magically entombed in the riverbank. But now, Candida is free, and for the first time in centuries, the Dark Congress is being called again. All demon races and other varieties of supernatural creatures have been called together at the Hellmouth in Providence, Rhode Island. Some gather in hopes of resolution, some in favor of war, and Candida is tasked to broker a treaty and guide the Congress to peace, wherein everyone must simply agree to disagree. Yaxie, I'm recording a vlog. Be quiet. Matchy! And so the demons gather under a banner to a truce. But the demons still harbor many bitter disagreements with one another. The Congress must have an arbiter to these conflicts, and that someone is Buffy Summers. Buffy is horrified and disgusted to be included. After all, she is not a demon, is she? She knows so little about her powers that she cannot say for certain where they truly spring from. How can she spend so much time wallowing in the darkness without becoming a part of it? Can she possibly agree to a truce with all the horrors of the world and allow them to come to Providence without any attempt to stop them? And does she have a choice? The Dark Congress by Christopher Golden. So I started reading it, and one of my first thoughts was, I wonder when this takes place. And very early on, you know that it takes place after the series has ended. So it's kind of like, it's long. So if it was done in episode form, I would say it might span over 3 episodes. So this is kind of like, it could have been a cool 3-episode part episode in the series. It doesn't really tie into the 8th season comic book that Joss Whedon wrote, but it could exist harmoniously with the 8th season comic book. So definitely want to give props to Christopher Golden for that. But overall, I'm just going to come right out and say it. Overall, I didn't like it. Overall, I was disappointed in this book. I was disappointed in you, Christopher Golden. But before I get into the reasons why, here are the things that I liked. I liked that it had a lot of aspects that were true to the characters, and it gave us details that would allow us to get to know the characters better. We already know the characters so well because we watched them grow and we took the journey with them. The journey being life, essentially. And there's a part where they mention the ringtone to like all the characters and what their ringtone is, and I thought that was a really cool little insight. I also liked it because Christopher Golden, I'm almost positive he came up with the phrase, which Buffy is called many times, the Deathless Slayer. I think that's really cool. In my Buffy fan fictions, which take place in the future, and Buffy's very well known, like she is of course here, like she is of course at the end of the series, I call her the Veteran Slayer, but the Deathless Slayer is way cooler and way more badass, so that's awesome, and I really think I might want to steal that, but I'm not going to because that goes against all of my gut as a writer, so I will not steal that, but I wish I could because that's freaking awesome. I really like that name, Buffy Summers, Deathless Slayer, because she can't die. It just strikes fear in the hearts of your enemies, or other organs if they don't have hearts because they're demons. And the other thing I liked about it was he brought together all of the characters. He brought together not just Buffy and Willow and Xander and Giles. He also brought in Oz. He also brought in Faith. And that's about it. He did bring in a lot of characters that he created, and one thing that was definitely a mistake was they were way too closely spelled the same. So I had a hard time keeping them straight. That, and I read it over the course of 7 months. But there were 2 characters. One was a bad guy and one was a good guy. There was the bad guy was a rogue champion for the powers, and the good guy was a female watcher. And so 2 completely different characters, and they were very similar. They had very similar names, and they were very similarly spelled the same, and they were very similarly hard to pronounce. So I had a hard time with that. I really didn't like this book. Overall, I didn't like it because it felt like a fan fiction. However, there was one part that did make me kind of go like, holy shit, in excitement, which is Faith gets when Faith first comes into the city where all the demons are gathering, she gets attacked by the gentleman. And I was just like, oh my god, Christopher Golden. Like, this was before I could start to not like the book. I was like, Christopher Golden, you're awesome. You brought back the gentleman. Oh, you're just no holds bar. And I was really excited about that. And one thing I didn't like is there were several moments that showed a connection between Oz and Faith. They were paired off a lot in the book, whether usually it was fighting, and then they would kind of like have little quips between each other in fighting, and I didn't really like that. It's not that I didn't like it, I didn't see it as realistic. Oz and Faith. If anybody can see where there would be chemistry, I'm not necessarily talking about sexual chemistry, just plain old chemistry, comrade chemistry, I guess you could say. If anybody ever saw that in the show, or could ever think in their head how in the future that would come about, please let me know in the comments, because it just didn't seem to fit. It just seemed like it was all filler, like it only happened because, well, I need words to fill it up, like, so I didn't really care for that. I thought it was unrealistic. And here's the big spoiler alert, everybody. Very early on, within like, I think 20 pages of this, 350 page book? This 270 page book, he brings Tara back. And I'm sure all the Willow and Tara fans, loved that. But it just seemed way too effortless when she was brought back. And I can understand why she was never brought back after she was killed. I'm not saying I understand why she was killed, I'm saying I can understand why she never came back, because she couldn't be brought back. She was killed, in a non-supernatural way. So it felt very true to the show that Joss Whedon never brought her back, even though I wish he did. And when he said at the 2004 Chicago Wizard World, which I was at, by the way, when he said that there was this whole, episode he had written in his head about bringing Tara back, and it never happened because of, I guess, scheduling conflicts with Amber Benson, which I don't know if I necessarily believe, because Amber Benson has always been incredibly loyal to her fan base, especially her Buffy fans. So I think that if she had the opportunity to come back, she would have done it, most definitely. Computer! My computer just shut off and I don't know why. Okay, I need to not deal with that. But in the end of the book, so there's a lot of Willow and Tara mushiness, and yeah, even though that's all, good and everything, and of course I liked it, because, of course it's something I should have liked, it just all seemed way too much. The entire book felt like a fan fiction. And then at the very end, Willow and Tara realize they have to return the gift being Tara coming back, but it's all okay because, Willow got to actually say goodbye in a real way, and she got to have a little more time with her. So it just kind of felt very so that felt very fan-fiction-y, and then, he suddenly realized it felt fan-fiction-y, and he's like, oh, I have to correct it and stay true to the mythology and stay true to what actually happened. So then he just, quickly got rid of her. So, and it also seemed like there was a lot going on. There was a lot of characters, but it seemed like he was spending too much time on Willow and Tara. And I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe I'm having a problem with that, but, oh, I know why my computer didn't turn on. My mouse wasn't on. I'm smart. I have a college education. Anyways, it just seemed all way too forced, and it just didn't seem like it belonged. So thank you very much for my extremely long, babbling, slightly distracted review of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Dark Congress by Christopher Golden. If you're interested in reading it, maybe your local library has it, but you can probably find a copy on Amazon for $2 plus $3 shipping and handling. But yeah, And another thing, if you want me to do more reviews on Buffy the Vampire Slayer books, please let me know in the comments too, because like I said, I want to give you what you guys want to see, so please share your thoughts with me. I've been Tanya. Thank you so much for sitting with me while I do all of this. This vlog has been 16 minutes long, but I think I got all of my thoughts out. So, thank you again. Bye, everyone. I'll see you next time.